All right, we ready? Y'all ready? Okay. So good morning, good evening, what it do? How are you? Who you? Grand rising too. I am the sound of money in your ear, Dollar Avant. That's D-O-double-L. I'm off an imitator, never duplicated. They call me the $1 Billion Bae, aka the Pitch Queen, aka the People's Coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill, and you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of high value entrepreneurs. Over here, it is day 17 of the 100-day challenge. 100 days, yes, because we're reprogramming our thinking from what they did to us in capitalism. Ain't nobody got time. We need to make some money. We don't have time to be out here playing like it's 1985. So, am I muted? Can y'all hear me? It says it's working. Okay, I hope y'all can hear me. Let me know if you still can't hear me. Um, we don't have time to be playing no games out here. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Day 17, if you've been following along, you're changing the way that you have conversations, the way that you document said conversations. You're seeing patterns in your work and all of the things. You're refining your pitch. You're not just saying the same thing over and over and say, well, I did what I was supposed to do today. Don't nobody want to buy it. No, we're refining our pitch consistently to make sure that people can actually are giving us feedback that what we're saying is actually working for them. So it's important that we treat this like a business, meaning most people when they start a business, they just are focused on the thing, the product, service, or solution that they offer. And that's cool. But somebody, if you got a team, that's fine. But somebody has to be spending all their time developing a skill, well, not all your time, but developing the skill of actually going out and getting customers, because that is the business. It's the engine that brings new people in to buy this thing that you built or created, right? So we got to learn this skill. So that's what we're doing over here, is creating a space where we can learn this skill instead of trying to hand it off, because it doesn't typically work that as well as we think it's going to when we hand it off to people. And if you don't have like unlimited budget, you run out of money before you kind of figure out these nuances. So I'm teaching you how to figure it out yourself and to develop the skill and then hand your business off to somebody else. So right now, I know a lot of people have been in and out over the different days, and I kind of enjoy it. Like every day is like a new little cohort that I get to work with. But I know that people are getting value because I'm getting the messages and I'm getting comments and DMs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. This is probably be the last time I get to do it in this format, because the next one is gonna be in a way that I can't like have this level of individual feedback and connection with everybody. And so I'm enjoying it. But either you're starting to feel like momentum right now, or you might be getting to the point where it's like, when is this all gonna click? So either way, that's totally normal. So today I'm gonna help you like put it all together. I realize that most people fail in business because obviously they're skipping steps on the roadmap, but also because they don't have um, a daily practice, like a daily, okay, I know what to do. I woke up, this is what I'm going to do today. They're more like moving by spirit in their business. And you can't do that when you first start out, because it's already waves. It's like being in the ocean. It's, people, it's energy. It's, oh, I saw this on TV. I saw this on my email, and, I met this person, and, oh, I got this phone. Like, it's just, you need to put structure and order around things when you first start. So instead of waking up and thinking, what do I work on today? What do I need to do today? Oh my God, I got so much to do today, which comes, makes us feel overwhelmed. Instead of that, we don't want to stay there, rather, because that kills momentum. So when you don't know what to do, you start to default to whatever feels comfortable to you, which is often not necessarily the thing that you need to be doing. So whether that's quote unquote scrolling for inspiration and research, taking another course, another class, get another certification, trying to get another partnership, trying to do something that's going to make you look better on the outside, having a meeting about, something branding related or something, strategy related, a lot of internal facing things, reorganizing your files and all that kind of stuff. 20% of our time should be on that kind of stuff. No more than that. We got to try to make that shift. And I know that's a process. That's like me saying, we should be spending 50% of our income and no more than that on all of our living expenses. Well, that might not be the reality for somebody, but that's the end game. That's the goal where we want to get to. So likewise, I'm saying, ultimately, I want you to take at least 80% of your energy and really be focusing it on outward facing activities, things that are going to actually bring new people into this world that you're building for them and actually generate revenue. So today I'm giving you these 5 days. I got 5 on it. These are the things you're supposed to be doing every single day. This is your daily operating system. It will lead into a dashboard where you can ultimately start to run your business by the numbers. That's what we're headed towards. And this should become a non-negotiable routine for you. The 5 things you should be doing every single day in your business. You do these 5 things and you won't wake up confused. You won't be like, I don't know what to do. You won't feel like you're wasting your days. You'll never be like just spinning your wheels and all the kind of stuff that we say all the time. It's like, I feel like I'm not making any progress. Well, if you do these 5 things every day, even if you say I work 5 days a week, whatever, the days that you are working, do these 5 things. And it will move you towards what we call critical mass, which is so important because that's when the chain reaction starts. That's when things start to scale in your business and starts to generate momentum and take on a life of its own, which is what we all want. We want the phone ringing. We want to be overbooked. We want to just have champagne problems. So what am I supposed to do? I got all these people calling me. They called us something about the NAACP awards. I was like, first of all, okay, no, but perhaps, we'll see what we're talking about. You want champagne problems, not like where's my next client coming from problems. So let's figure out these 5 activities and what you're supposed to be doing every day. Because I want to get y'all past making $10,000-$20,000 a month. I want to normalize that in your business. Like, not maybe, hopefully one day. I'm talking about for real. So let's get into it. Number 1, y'all remember that man, Michael Phelps, when he was, an award-winning swimmer in the Olympics back in the day. So back when he was a teenager, when he was still just training for the Olympics, he had a coach named Bob. And his coach did not let him spend all his time like analyzing competitors and making all kind of plans for what he was going to do in the race. What he made him do every single day was practice. He had a very specific, detailed daily routine. Same thing every day, so much so that he could execute it in his sleep. This is very similar to the stories we hear of somebody, they go in the gym, Steph Curry or somebody go in the gym at 5 a.m. and they take 1,000, shots or whatever, free throws or whatever it is, right? So Michael Phelps, I didn't know this till I researched it. He would wake up at 5 a.m., eat the same breakfast, arrive at the pool at 6 a.m., stretch for 15 minutes, get in the water, swim the thing, do the warm-up laps, then start his training and go through that every single day. He wasn't thinking about it. This is what I do. His body was training. He was getting muscle memory. Okay. And then Coach Bob told him to visualize. And you hear athletes talk about this too. He would visualize his routine before he went to bed every night. So you laying in the bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and then you mentally rehearse the whole practice in your head. Every stroke, every turn, every breath. Before you fall asleep, you wake up, you get the thing, you go in 6 a.m., you do the thing, blah, 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 blah. Why? Because you don't become a world, champion, gold medal, standing on the thing, the song is playing, and they throw the flag over the top of you and all of that in that moment. It happens every single day. So you don't become the person ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange and all of that, in that moment. It's what you do every day. And I have a whole other episode I want to teach about social capital and how it compounds. It's our relationships and how we build every single day with people in these small interactions that turns into what your business is 5, 10, 15 years from now when you're in Forbes and all of that. We want to be in Forbes, but we need to show up every day, right? And I tell people that all the time. They're like, oh, I wanted to do 40 under 40 and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, hold on. First of all, it's not going to change your business. Why? How do I know? I've been in Forbes. It didn't make no difference. I was already getting the phone calls I was getting when I got in Forbes. That's how I got in Forbes. But also, it doesn't happen because, okay, if I could just get there, then my business is going to. No, it's like, be this person, have your narrative out in the street, and that narrative gets to the people that call you to ask you to participate in those big moments like that. So, make these daily habits a thing, okay? because when he was in the Olympics, by the time he got there, he wasn't like, okay, oh my God, this is a big moment. Like, here we go. It's my big meeting. It's my time. No, this is what we do every day. It's what we do. He'd done the same routine tens of thousands of times before. He actually won 28 medals. I didn't know that again until I looked it up. That was more than any athlete in history, by the way. 28 Olympic medals. Just buy it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. That's what I'm saying. I want y'all. Money should not be a thing. It should be like just, oh, we made some money today. Oh, cash flow. Oh, I got to start another business. Oh, what can we invest this money in? Oh, we got too much money. Like, do we buy some more land? Do we like buy some trucks? Like, what do we do? Do we buy a grocery store? Like, what do we do with all this money? Like, I'm trying to normalize that because this is life. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it is simple. I'm not saying it's easy, okay? Because it's reprogramming our brain. So like me, I'm in a new family. This family got money, but did not grow up making money with our mind. That's what I know how to do. I make money with my mind. That family, they did not have that programming. So there's some things we're learning, new things. I'm sharing new knowledge and all of that. So it's fine. Like, it's a process, but you're not going to build a $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month business with just like one meeting or one strategy or one partnership. Just, if I could just, some secret thing that's just going to make it all of a sudden now, if I could just, do this one thing, then I'll be there. It's not how it happens. It's through the daily practice, the daily habits. So the 5 activities are going to compound for you. They're going to compound for you. There's another story when I was looking at all these sports analogies up, new book, apparently I'm writing, but like do y'all ever watch like the Tour de France and all that? Anyway, the British cycling team apparently never won anything in the Olympics anyway. And then they got a new coach in, I think it was 2003. So 76 years, I think they had won one gold medal one time at the Olympics. Never won the Tour de France. They were just, I don't even know what they were doing, child. They, how you get sponsorships and people give you equipment and jerseys and stuff. The bike people wouldn't even give them no bikes because they were like, we don't want to be associated with failure. So then I think it was 2003, they got a new coach. And he didn't try to like fix everything all at one time. What he did was he said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. He told them to work on 1% improvements, right? So let's fix our bike seats. Y'all ain't sitting right. Let's get the better tires. Y'all, what is going on here? Better nutrition, better training, better sleep. Like one thing they kept fixing. One thing. Like, I think the inside of their truck was even raggedy. I'm like, why y'all telling these people business like this? But, so they would put the bikes in there and then by the time they get there, it's messing up the bike. It's like messing up however you fix, tune a bike or whatever. So he made sure that there was no dust or anything getting on the bike so that they could have better improvements. So 5 years later, they end up dominating the Olympics. They won 60% of the gold medals. I think it was 2008 Beijing Olympics. And then they actually won the Tour de France in 2012. They went on for like a decade, like winning and all of that. So their genetics didn't change. Obviously, their access to resources didn't change. It was their daily practice, what they do daily. So improving 1% a day will give you a 37x return in a year because it's compounding. So here, most people don't do daily practices because they confuse all this busy work. That's why I am not going to get off the necks of these meatballs and alcohol events. Because you're in motion and you're busy and you're going to an event and ooh, it sounds cool, and ooh, the head of this was speaking, and ooh, I heard the founder of this was at this fireside chat, and ooh, 50 Cent was speaking at the thing. They confuse that with progress in their business. They're busy, they're doing entrepreneurship things, they're reading entrepreneurship books and courses, working, but they're not doing activities that directly generate revenue. And that's also the trap, because now you can start having meetings with your team and everybody's really smart and you all come together and it's like, oh my God. And we had a great brainstorming session and we did a whiteboard and we took a picture of the whiteboard when we finished the meeting. And then it's like, I met with this advisor and I met with, all these things, redesigning our website and creating, coming up with packages and tweaking our branding and doing all this kind of stuff, it feels like we're doing something for real, but it's not progress. The only thing that counts as progress is having conversations with potential customers. Why? Because money does not grow on trees. It does not grow, fall out the sky. It's not going to be on the side of the road. It's not going to find it in the mouth of a fish. Okay. It comes from people. All financial capital is social capital. So when you refine your pitch based on feedback from real humans, who are your potential customers? Have you talked to one today? Have you invited somebody into your world? Are people engaging with your content? Is something happening? Are we making an offer and seeing what happens? Are we documenting what we learn? That's the only thing that counts as progress. Okay, we got to put ourselves out there, either get a yes or no. It's zeros and ones. Okay. It's actually at the quantum level. It's the quantum computer. It's not zeros and ones, but we're going to say that for the sake of this example. Okay, so don't confuse motion with progress. The other problem that gets in the way, not knowing what actually matters. So all the different things you could be doing and should be doing, people get confused with that. It's like, okay, am I supposed to be on social media? Okay, do I need to post something? Okay, do I need to do a rebrand right now? Okay, do I need to run some ads? My funnel. Right, I need a funnel. Okay, wait, I need to do a podcast. Okay, hold on. I'm supposed to be attending a networking event. Okay, let me join this entrepreneurship program. Let me, we're running around. We don't know what to do. I need to go to this conference, if I could just, everybody says I need to be over there. So now you feel like you're missing something because you're not paying $800 to go to the conference that nobody's getting anything out of. But you feel like you need to go because everybody's going, because that's what apparently we're supposed to do. Like, it starts to become that. Nobody knows what to actually do. They're just running around and hoping that something happens, or trying to get into a program. Like, if I could just get into this accelerator, then I'll be where I need to be. And it doesn't work like that. So we're solving that problem. The third problem is just the lack of consistency. Like, sometimes you'll get a breakthrough, a brain blast. You'll be like, oh my God, I know exactly what to do. I have the strategy. I had this great conversation. Not that you shouldn't do these things, right? So you had a great conversation with an advisor. They broke it down for you. Or you saw something that gave you this clear perspective and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't figure it out. Now here we go. I know exactly what to do. You wrote it all down. You were super excited. You went through all of that. And then you don't follow up. So we want these dramatic things to happen just like immediately. Just want to just put a video and go viral. When it close a big deal, sign a contract, do something like that. But actually, that's not how it works. We got to be consistent over time. So the person who has 3 conversations every day for 30 days is going to get better results than somebody who has 30 conversations in one day at one conference and then they don't do nothing for the next month. Consistency creates repetition. That's where you get your pattern recognition from. And that's how you get to mastery. Ultimately, the point is to be able to master, like, I know where my money's coming from. I'm not confused. I know where it's coming from. What are we talking about? So we can stop thinking about money, right? And it's hard to do that when you lack structure, because every day now you got to make a decision. What should I work on? What do I need to be doing? And you get really tired. Decision fatigue is a real thing. So most of us wake up. I don't know how early y'all wake up as entrepreneurs and what's going on. I don't know if kids are running around, but if you have to make new decisions every single day, if you don't have your day already mapped out, you don't have these systems already in place, by noon or 1 o'clock, you've already spent all your mental energy trying to decide what you're going to actually do for the day. And that's why I set these things at 2:22, y'all. Because I know some people are either winning, and if they can't make it because they're actually actively involved in work, they can go watch the replay. But a lot of people kind of get lost. They take, they do lunch and it's like, whoa, what am I doing? And I got people in Europe, so everybody's not on East Coast time, but that was kind of the logic behind that. Because a lot of people get off these 2 o'clocks. I try to do it for 90 minutes at the most, and then they actually still have time to go make calls for the rest of the day. And that's what I want, is for people to get clear and get recentered. Don't let a day go by where you're not doing something that's actually going to add value to your business. So with the clear daily practice, it's easier to do that. You have less decisions to make. You get up, you know what to do, you execute, you're done. You can go back to what you enjoy. Go back to watching. Y'all, Jim V is amazing. This is my show of the moment. It's my show of the moment. And I got time to watch it because I do my thing. I follow my schedule, and then we watch TV. Like, do what you want to do in the time after you do what you're supposed to do in the structured time. So like I said, all this website design, all this branding, which CRM should I use? Which email provider? All kind of stuff that we spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay, that's cool. But at the end of the day, it's not going to put no money in your bank account. We got to talk to people, make offers, deliver for our current customers, build relationships that lead to referrals, and document everything that's working. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else is support around that. But if you do those things every day, then you don't need a complicated strategy. So let me explain how doing it in the beginning, you can't see anything, and then all of a sudden you got a business here. The story about how we get to critical mass, like how they made the atomic bomb. At the beginning, you can't see anything, or like when they do a rocket launch and they're like 3, 2, 1, and then it's like, and then it goes. Y'all know the rocket don't move. I think it's 8.9 seconds. The rocket is. There's nothing happened. Nothing happened. What are we doing? We're all standing here like, and nothing happens. It doesn't go right away because it's burning fuel. It has to get to I think it's called velocity something. The heat, it has to hit a certain temperature for it to be enough velocity in the thing to lift the rocket off the ground. In a chain reaction in an atomic bomb, it has to have enough, and then it hits critical mass, and then you see an explosion. Like, it doesn't happen right away. It doesn't happen right away. So if you understand that, if you think like a wealthy person instead of like an employee or consumer, you will embrace that, right? You put an investment in, you don't expect something tomorrow. I just put it in there right now. But if you're an employee, I go to work for 8 hours, I expect a check for my 8 hours, please. I'd like my payment now. If you're a consumer, you go to the store, you give them $20, I would like my pack of whatever you just paid for. Like right now. It's a one-to-one, it's a linear relationship. So we got to switch our mindset to being an investor. Your business is an investment vehicle. You're building this asset that's going to keep paying you money so you can do what you need to do and get out the way. So the more we switch our mindset, the less we will resist this work of showing up and doing the same thing every day, because that's how nature works. That's how everything that's sustainable works. It's something happening every day that gives you that long-term outcome that you're looking for, right? So you don't need to see the progress. You trust the system, trust that it's happening, and show up consistently. So these are the 5 things. Let me see, I could put this part in the chat so you could be looking at something, because I didn't make any slides today. So number 1, every day we're practicing our 5-star pitch. Number 2, picking our afro. That should be 2 F's, 2 O's. I'm gonna tell you what that means. Number 3, activate your inner circle. Number 4, broadcast your own brilliance. And number 5, document your actions. So let's get into it. Y'all know what the 5-star pitch is, but every day, you should be practicing your pitch every day. This is the foundation of every conversation that you have. Is how you explain what you do, who you serve, why somebody should care. Most people are still winging it. They explain their business differently every time. They're rambling. They're confusing people. They're missing opportunities. Don't let this be you. Okay? But when you practice your pitch every day, every single day, something amazing happens. It becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be like, I don't know. Oh my God, dog, you caught me off guard. Like, none of that. I need nobody in this group to be talking about, oh, I wasn't ready. Like, none of that. Practice your pitch every day. Every day. How about we just do it every day? Look, turn to your neighbor. Say every day. Every day. Okay. Now, some people not going to do it, and that's fine. But then don't tell me you want to be at the Grammys. Don't tell me you want to be, you know what I'm saying, the next Kendrick or whatever, and you don't want to practice every day. You have to vocalize. If you want to be Mariah Carey, you have to vocalize every day. You know why people, they get older and they're like, oh, she lost her voice. Well, sometimes they do because they be drinking and doing other stuff. But sometimes they stop vocalizing every day. You have to do it every day. You know how you used to be able to do a split and do all that when you were a kid? You know why? Because you were doing it every day. You get older, you stop moving, you stop stretching, you stop doing, and then you try to go do it now, you can't do it. You have to do it every day. Every day. Do you breathe every day? Yes. Do you eat food every day? You need to practice your pitch. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to create something that's going to get you off the financial grid. You need to practice your pitch every day to the point where it flows naturally. You can adjust it on the fly based on who you're talking to. You can start to pivot. You can improvise. You know what I'm saying? If you practice the same song every day, then you know you can flow. You can meet a musician you never met him before. It's like, y'all, this happened to me. We were on tour. We go to, I think not Memphis. It was Knoxville, Tennessee. The home, the orange people, the football team, that town. I had to do a radio interview at the university radio station. We went to 2 other places we performed and whatever. So then after the interview, we went to the thing. Then it was an after party. We go to the thing. I'm sitting in the room. I'm trying to eat dinner. I haven't eaten all day. Nobody fed me. Somebody got fired. The manager, where's the food? So I hadn't had nothing to eat. I'm sitting around. And then somebody gets on stage and they say, we got Doll Avant. I heard we got Doll Avant in the building. Doll Avant's in the building. And I'm like, come on up. Because they were playing the little, y'all don't know about the 2-stepping song I got. That thing hit to the sea. I don't know what age, it don't matter what age group you are in. Before they were doing line dances, that song right there, they played on Clear Channel. That's when I turned down that record deal. But anyway, so like, come on up. So I went up there, and they had a whole band up there. They were great. They were jamming. And so the band leader leans over to me. He goes, Aretha Franklin. I said, yeah. He said, respect. I said, okay. He said, key of C. I said, all right. He said, key of C. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was just like, bah. And ain't no time. And so guess what I did? I sang the song. Because we do this for real. We do this every day. It should just flow out of you. I wake you up at 4:00 in the morning and I say, hey, what do you do? You shouldn't be like, oh my God, you caught me off guard. I'm not, I gotta wait a minute. Let me find my notes. Hold on. I wrote this down. That's what y'all do. I wrote this down. And which is fine when you first start. But 3 months in, 6 months in, I need you to be able to tell me what you do. And if I ask you conversationally, if I invite you on my podcast, if I invite you, to be on stage in an event and just casually, conversationally talk about this, it should flow out of you naturally. You should be able to adjust it on the fly. It shouldn't be oh my God, I wasn't ready. Oh my God, I didn't rehearse this. Oh my God. Like, y'all, we can't be rehearsing and expect money. We want money to flow like water. I need your pitch to flow like water. I think I've made my point. I'm not going to let it go because people want to skip this part and then come and I need to get on your calendar, dog. And they get on my calendar and I'm like, okay, so what do you do? What problem do you solve? And they can't answer the question. So let's start there. We got to practice our pitch every day. All right. So remember now, to get to the nuance, to get to the mastery level of this, if you're doing this every day, you can get to this part. There's 2 versions of your 5-star pitch. I mean, really, there's 7, but listen, there's 2 versions of it. What do you mean by 7, doll? Like your elevator pitch, like your 30, 45 seconds is a part of your 5-star pitch, right? If I have to introduce myself in front of a room and, they give me the floor for 2 or 3 minutes, I can expand it to 3 minutes. If I have to give a 10-minute presentation with slides and I'm on a stage, for a pitch competition, that's probably about 10 minutes. It's still the same pitch, right? If I'm doing an investor presentation or a sales conversation, it might be 15 minutes, but it's still the same format. You even have a little cathedral, little one statement, like, why do you exist? There are different versions of your pitch based on who you're talking to. It's like an accordion. But anyway, 2 that you need to make sure that you got in your mind is the standard one that I teach you, which is supposed to be a conversation. When you go to a networking event or you just met somebody or you're on the plane and they're like, oh, what do you do? This is how you talk about what you do, right? So this is for first conversations, chance encounters. There's a version of this that can show up in a DM if somebody asks you what you do. So it should include all the important information to check these boxes, right? So anytime you're introducing yourself and your work for the first time, y'all know this. We start with the elevator pitch, start with why, who you are, who do you help? I help this kind of person go from this problem state to this solution state, and why people should care. Stories and statistics, okay? Number 2, got your founder story. That's your ISDR. Why you do this work, starting with your identity, like that humanizes you. I'm from Atlanta. I'm an engineer, like whatever background is relevant. Then the story, or the struggle that you've experienced, that you've seen other people go through, then the discovery or the decision that you made to start the business, you invented a technology, whatever happened, and then as a result, you've been helping people, you've been outside. You should be able to say that very freely, and then that flows into the third part of your 5-star pitch. That's why I started my company. You explain what you do, the 1, 2, 3. It's a signature process. You guys should know this off the back of your hand. This is how my process works, right? Number 4, you talk about your credibility, your milestones, your traction, all of that, who you've worked with, and then you got your call to action. There's something very simple. If you just met the person now, it should be like, let's stay connected, join my community. You could book a call. Like, let's talk more about this. Maybe they get a free resource, and that should be very, they should feel like they want to take that action with you. It shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, nice to meet you. Like, it should be like, if that's your potential client or your profile that you serve, they should be feeling something by the time you get through talking. So you got to master that. Okay. The second version of your pitch that you need to understand is like if you're actually in a sales conversation, because this is somebody has already expressed interest. They've already heard your initial kind of spiel and all of that. You might be on a call or in a sales meeting with them like that, but you're still following the Afro method, because you're going to do the aspirations and frustrations. Y'all, I gave y'all the 6 questions that you need to use to make it very conversational, to understand somebody's aspirations and frustrations, and to have them, get them talking and get that information out of them, right? Then you go into that same framework. Okay, the way to think about it is this. Let me give it to you a different way, so you don't get confused. Because y'all, if I use the same words, I don't want y'all to think, well, I just did that. No, this is different. This is how it's different. Let me get back to where I was. If you are in a meeting with somebody that has already heard what you do and you want to get into a sales conversation with them, you want to make sure that you take them through you still are using the Afro method. So you still let them talk and do all of that. But once you get to the part where it's the framework, where you're supposed to be talking, this is what you want to say. I'm pulling it up because I don't want to confuse nobody. There we go. In the first part, we started with why, then we did your ISDR, then we did your framework, your 1, 2, 3, then we did your credibility and your team, then we did your call to action. Okay. Now, if I'm in a meeting, it's like connecting on this problem, because they should be telling you, here are all the things that I'm struggling with. You should be very consultative. They're telling you why they tried other things, it didn't work out, all the frustrations. That's the problem. You should be able to say, I relate to the problem. Here's where you are. Based on what I'm hearing you say, So problem. Then help make sure you have a clear idea of where they want to be. So promise. Right? I understand I've been on this journey, based on what you're telling me, it sounds like my other clients, we help people get from where you are right now to the promised land. What's the promise? Number 3, it's your process. That don't change, right? A specific method that you have for getting people out of that problem state to the solution state. And you can be a little bit more detailed because you're in a sales conversation, right? It's like, so this is how it worked with the client. Like you, in your case, it sounds like what you need to do is first we need to start with and then we need to blah, 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 blah. And then after that, in about 90 days, you're going to see process. So problem, promise, process. Then you're going to give the proof. Here's evidence that it works. This is where you use testimonials from people that you worked with before, case studies. You can give specific metrics. We've reduced costs for people by 25%. This is a sales conversation, but it's still a conversation. So problem, promise, process, proof, and then the product. So it's like, here's what we're going to do together. Go ahead and assume the sale. It's like, if we were working together, this is what it would entail. You go ahead and do this. We do this right here. We do the onboarding, blah, 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 blah. In 3 weeks, you have this, and so forth and so on. Like, very straightforward, but it's still a 5-star pitch. So yeah, you kind of want to have to practice that every day, because you don't want to be in there stumbling and confused in the middle of a meeting, right? So if we don't practice, we just go in there hoping you make the meeting and the sales conversation, you'll end up making it about you. It'll be like, oh my God, I really need this customer. I hope they sign this deal. Like, da, da, da. That's what you'll be thinking. And guess what? They can tell. They can tell. Because the energy don't lie. The energy does not lie. Okay, so we got to be more seasoned. Dare I say professional. You want to get paid for doing this. You want to get paid for going out and talking to humans about this great product, service, or solution that you created. So you need to be professional at communicating said product, service, or solution. You need to be great at this. So it's 2 different 5-star pitches, depending on if you just met me now versus if you're in a sales conversation. If you got questions about it, feel free to jump on if you're on the Zoom, or put it in the chat if you're over here streaming. Okay, so every morning, I suggest doing it in the morning. You might be riding, on your commute, doing whatever you got to do. Practice both versions of your pitch out loud. You could take 5-10 minutes to do it. Five for each one. 5 minutes for each one, or whatever. But just walk through the flow. Make sure it feels natural. Do it every single day. This is going to create muscle memory. And then when you're in the moment, when you're talking to somebody, you're not nervous anymore. You're not freaking out. I don't know what to say. It just comes out of you. You don't have to think. You just execute. So the more you do this, I'm telling you now, the easier it's going to be for you, and the more things are going to connect in your business in terms of strategy. When you start bringing on a volunteer or a team member or somebody to work under you, you're like, say it like this. It no longer becomes optional. Like, they can put their own spin on it, but the structure of that thing is not just like up to them, because that would be starting your business over. If you just, y'all go figure it out, but you want somebody else to sell on your behalf, you got to give them the structure from which to add to what you're doing, what you're building. So that's the first activity you got to do every day in your business, is practice your 5-star pitch. Number 2, pick your afro. And y'all, I use the afro method because I teach this to melanated people, but also obviously it stands for something, 2 F's and 2 O's. But I'm saying literally, remember how you used to have to pick your afro with the fist on the pick? There are things that you need to be looking at and working on perfecting with your afro method, so that when you go into a conversation, you can navigate that thing and just be in the flow, as opposed to feeling weird and awkward trying to get a sale to happen. The better you get at this, the more money you're going to make, and the quicker you can hand it off to somebody else or encode it in your business. So the first thing you want to do is prime your ears to listen in the world for problem language. There are specific phrases, keywords, topics that somebody's talking about that indicate that they might be a fit for what you do, or they might know someone who is. So if you're a business coach, you help entrepreneurs scale past 250K, which I don't do that. That's not who I serve. Okay. But some problem language might be, man, I just hit a plateau in my revenue. I've been stuck at 200, 250 for the last couple quarters. I don't know how to get past this point. I'm reaching different clients now. I'm getting calls internationally. I don't really know how to scale. Anything that sounds like the problem that you solve is what you need to be listening for. They don't always say the corporate version of what you say. So if you're a wellness coach, they might be like, well, I'm exhausted all the time. I can't lose weight. I feel stressed. I don't have energy. Well, this is a wellness issue, but you have to know that. Like me being in the water space, and people are talking about health issues that they're having, but because I know drinking contaminated water can lead to all these health issues. If somebody's telling me about their concern about something that's going on in their skin, or their hair is not, curls ain't popping, it's probably your water quality. We need to talk about that. Did you know that? And they were like, oh my God, no, I didn't know. Well, let's do a check. We need to check and see what's in your water at your house. And we could start a conversation, even though they were talking about their hair being frizzy. So every day you need to be reviewing, what is the problem language? Things that you might see online. It doesn't have to be directly related to what you do, but if that's the code language for this could be a good opportunity for me and what I do, you need to be really good at that. So when you're in a conversation, and also so you can train your team to recognize when there's an opportunity to insert what it is that y'all do, or to start a conversation about what you do. So that's the P in pick. I stands for make sure you're identifying your intended audience. So if every single day, like let's say you're going to a specific conference, a networking event, you got a big meeting or dinner party that you're invited to that night, what commonalities do you share with the people who are going to be there? Like we actually prepare and prep before we go to networking events. That's how we get great outcomes. Maybe I went to the same school, maybe from the same city, maybe you have kids the same age, maybe you're in the same industry. Like, what do you have in common with these folks so that you can start your conversation in a place of connection? Because connection is the birthplace of all currency. So the more it can be less about you, okay, and your product and your little folders that you want to pass out to everybody, that's not what's going to make the sale. It's the connection. You want to build rapport quickly. So the more you can identify commonalities with people that you're going to be talking to and speak to those things first, the easier the rest of the conversation is going to be. So you actually should work on that every day, every week, based on who you're going to be talking to, and have those things already prepared. You know what I found out? I was looking on your LinkedIn. I didn't know you went to the same Start the conversation there. And they immediately, become closer in terms of connectivity with you. It's an energy exchange. All money is an energy exchange. So if the conversation starts about, hey, I got this thing, want to buy it. No, question mark, not really. If they're nice, they might be like, well, what is it? Tell me about it. Like they might give you that energy, but you're supposed to be bringing that energy. Okay. So PICK. P stands for listening for the problem language. Prime your ears for the problem language. I stands for identify with your intended audience. Do that intentionally. C stands for choose current topics and pain points. So pay attention to what's going on in the news, what's going on in your industry, what's going on in your audience's world that you can now connect back to the problem that you solve. So an example I'll give you is I have a former student, well, she's still technically a student, I guess, but she moved to Ghana, but she's a financial coach. And I saw her, she came to one of my early workshops and she told me like the reason how it helped her blow up her business. And now she outside with it. I think she's on her second book or whatever. And we talked a couple of months ago about doing a joint venture, like offering some type of financial classes or whatever. I don't know. She's a personal finance coach. And I was looking at her LinkedIn today, and she wrote a post about she's a church girl. I didn't know. Like she's a whole, not PK, I'm a PK, but whatever. She like grew up in church, and she said all the things that church didn't teach her about money, kept her broke or whatever. Like it was a pretty controversial take or whatever. I didn't know that. So I immediately thought about, while it's World War III, y'all know I have a problem with how they're distracting us in Black media. But anyway, one of the big topics right now is still on the front page of Breakfast Club or whatever. Is Drewski did this thing about like a skit about pastors in church. I think it's hilarious. I didn't get offended. I don't know why people are upset. But anyway, I could use that to start a conversation about the way people think about money in church, because I know there is a segment of people who are going to church and they're going to quote scripture to you and do all that, but they're not making no money, but they know this, they want to make some money. And I could bring those people into the community and have a conversation, because whatever's happening currently. Okay, what I'm trying to say is what happens currently is currency. So don't always start the conversation with what you always talk about. Choose current topics, current pain points, current things that people are struggling with talking about. When the lady sold Mael for $100 million, topic time. Everybody's like, well, did she sell out? Da-da-da. Well, what is the point of business? What do you want to do in your business? I mean, are you growing your business just to keep it forever? Or would you not sell your business? If somebody offered you $100 million, would you sell it? Let's talk about that. But then let me tell you how to build a business to the point where you have to make that decision. How about that? How about that? Because you don't have no business to worry about, are you going to sell it or not? You know what I mean? And so whatever's happening currently you can host a conversation about current topics and bring them into your world. You got to be thinking about what they're thinking about to eliminate the distance and create connection. Okay. So if I was a career coach, I'd be talking about AI every day. People are scared, oh, AI is going to get rid of my job. And my point would be, actually, you can still get a job. I can show you how. AI is doing this. Let me show you how to use AI. Let me tell you what not to be afraid of. Like, it would be AI all day for me, even though I'm a career coach. because that's what people are already thinking about. So you got to have a way to enter the conversation that they're having in their heads. All right. Like venture capital is over, apparently. I mean, I've been saying that for a couple years, but I'm pretty much over. And so it's like, well, if I'm a startup founder right now, like, what are they thinking about? What are they worried about? Have that conversation and then bring them into your offering. So we're picking out Afro. P is for prime your ears for problem language. I is for identify with your intended audience intentionally. Like pick things that you guys have in common. C is for choosing current topics and pain points. And then K is for know your flow. Know your flow. Like this actually, if you don't have no customers, no clients, and you don't know what to do, I would tell somebody if they started their business today, I would say, get up in the morning, work on your 5-star pitch, and go through this, pick your Afro that I'm explaining to you. And then every night, if you're in Atlanta or a major city, it's an event somewhere. Go out there every night to another event and work the room and do your 5-star pitch. And you will build a business faster than somebody who had a great idea and sitting at the house playing with the Canva. So anyway, knowing your flow means having your conversation flow memorized so well that it's automatic. Okay, so those 6 questions that I gave you the other day, how to get someone naturally talking about their aspirations and frustrations, you should have them memorized and personalized to what you do. Okay. How to get somebody talking about their aspirations and frustrations, how to transition into your framework and do it in a way that's seamless and smooth. So it doesn't feel, awkward. How to transition from that into an offer so you don't feel weird. They say asking for the sale. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm telling you the value and inviting you. You know what I mean? It should feel like flowing off the tongue. Practice. Imagine that. Imagine you were to practice the questions and the transitions and rehearse the sales conversation before you even got in the meeting. That way, when you get to the meeting, you're not having to think about what to say next and all of that. It's flowing naturally, getting you in the same energy as these athletes that I keep using these examples. They're not thinking about it. They're able to be present in the moment because we do this all day, every day. You know what I mean? So this will take you about, you could do all of this in less than an hour, mind you, in the morning. But problem language that is relevant, that you can be listening for, make sure you prime your ears. Connection points for the people that you might meet that day. Current events and topics that you can reference. And knowing your conversation flow, your key questions, and how to transition smoothly. This is preparation. It's like stretching before you go out and play football. If you don't, guess what? You're going to get hurt. Okay, so 5 activities every day. Number 1, practice your 5-star pitch. Number 2, pick your Afro. I just told you how to do that. Number 3, activate your inner circle, your circle of trust. This is where we're reaching out to actual humans and moving them a step further in our system intentionally every day. So that circle of 50, I keep telling us to put our target on that. These are people that are very warm or even hot in terms of our connectivity to them. They know us. They like us. If we were to call them, they would be like, hey, they would be excited to hear from us or whatever. And they have some sense of idea of what it is that we do. Maybe we've even developed some rapport or some trust with them. You got to make sure that you are actually connecting with a real human, at least several of them, if possible, every single day. Hey, it was so great running into you the other day at the airport. I wanted to talk to you. Like I told you, I'm doing something new. I wanted to get your feedback. Can we get on the call for 15 minutes? Hey, thank you so much for following up. I see that you comment all the time on our stuff, and I thank you so much for your support. I would love to just chat with you for 15 minutes and see more about what you got going on in your business, and if there's anything I could do to help, I would love to do that. You got time this Tuesday or Thursday? I would love to chat with you. Hey, I see that you left our old job where we used to work together, and now you're over here. And listen, it's transition time out here, but I remember you said you wanted to start a business. Are you still thinking about that? I would love to get your perspective on somebody in corporate who has a great idea to be an entrepreneur, and just, I'm working on something. I would love to talk to you about it. You got 15 minutes? You want to do a Zoom? You want a cup of coffee? Okay, cool. Let's meet Friday. Cool. Boom. Every day. Talking to actual humans. Hey, I'm so glad I met you at the networking thing last week, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I finally did it. I've been saying I was going to get my email list going. I finally got it going. I wanted to talk to you specifically, tell you what it is that I'm doing, and see if it was cool in a text. to add you to my email list. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it. The first thing you're going to get is this chapter of my book that explains something that we were just talking about last week at the event. We were talking about, I actually have a thing. I would love your feedback. Can I add you to my email list? And people are like, yeah, but talk to humans. Yes. Actually reach out and activate your inner circle every day. Every day. Moving people from a contact to a connection to a conversation to ultimately being a customer. But certainly they will be in your community. So contact, connection, conversation, community. And then from your community, I want you getting customers out of your community and less out of, I don't know, I hope I'm gonna get a customer somewhere. I don't know. I want you to move people from being a contact, somebody you met, somebody you used to know, all the way to the point where they're hanging out in this community that you're building for them. They're helping you co-design this world that you're building for them. And so, from that place, some of them are going to ask, either to go ahead and make a purchase, or they're going to ask for that sales conversation so they can become a customer. Now, we're inviting people into this world that we're building that actually stands for something. Invite. See, I don't want nobody to be confused. Oh, I heard what Doll said, but I can't do it. Yes, you can every day. So this is how we invite humans into our world. Identify out of this target list. I want this list to be 50 hot people. You could bid 75. The list can keep growing. But I mean people that you can actually physically reach either by DM, text, phone call, who would take your call, who would respond if you reached out, they will respond back. They know who you are, so forth and so on. That's in addition to kind of the cold outreach that you want to do. You want to try to start new relationships. That's cool too. That counts too. Okay. But I want that hot circle of trust list. Okay. Who on that list am I reaching out to today? Identify. So you pull up your CRM. Who's hot right now? Who's back from vacation? Who said, they had the baby in December and they'll be ready in February? Who's ready for a conversation? Who did we just meet that is still hot because we just talked for 2 hours on the plane and I need to go and follow up with them while it's still warm? Y'all know how we do. We meet these people. We have this great event. We go tell everybody. We tell our spouse. We come home. We're like, oh my God, it was amazing. Da, da, da. And then we don't call the people back. Why do we do that? I don't know why we do that. So identify who you're going to reach out to today. Be specific. Then distinguish between now versus next. People who are ready for a conversation today versus when somebody comes to mind, put them on your warm targets that you can nurture for later. But I need a hot list from that 50 or 100. I need at least 10 to 15 people hot. Okay. Now versus next. Then visualize. I'm spelling the word invite. Okay. Visualize. Again, before you reach out, visualize the conversation. The people that need to hear this, I hope they get the replay, because I don't see the person that asked me the question that inspired all this. I don't even see her right now today. Okay, visualize the conversation going well. See yourself connecting. See them saying yes to your invitation. In your mind's eye, you are more powerful than you know. You are more powerful than you realize. You can create anything if you get in the energy. See the conversation flowing naturally. How can you see it flowing naturally if you don't know it? We just did that. So you should be practicing that every day, right? So see it in your mind. Think about questions they might ask you. You can see where you might be stumbling, where you might be not sure about your own process. Go back up there and work on it. This is mental rehearsal. The unseen comes before the seen. When you do this, you're rewiring your brain. You're tapping into the energetic field, and it works every time. It works. I'm telling you, it works. See you. Happy Saturday. The next I stands for initiate contact. Actually reach out to these people, text them, call them, send a voice memo, send a video, DM them, whatever feels natural for you, but actually connect with the folks. T stands for tailoring the conversation, making it personal, reference something specific about them from your last interaction, doing what it needs to happen to make this like a real memorable conversation for the folks. If you have a question on I didn't even do that. Motion is not progress. Talking to people. Yes, motion is not progress. Thank you for putting notes in the chat. I like that. I appreciate that. Y'all can put your notes in the comments in the chat. That's helpful for folks. I appreciate that. So make it personal. Tell them why you're specifically reaching out to them and why you're doing it now. Okay. And then E stands for evaluate the outcomes. So yes, this is a workbook or something. I'll have to put all this together for you guys. But I'm saying after each interaction, document what's happening. Did they respond? Did they book a call? Did they say, not right now? What did they learn? What did you learn? Put that in your CRM so you can follow up, so you can see and you can know where all these conversations land. So y'all see how each one of these days of the 100-day challenge builds on each other? Because I've given you the tools to do this, and now I'm just telling you how to put it all together every day. Every day. Every day. So let's say you have a Zoom call coming up. You're doing an informational meeting where you're like, you're going to launch your new thing. You're going to tell people about your new business and your new whatever. You're going to be doing it once or twice a month. So every day you could pull out and send 5 to 10 personalized messages, inviting people to have a conversation with you or inviting them to this Zoom that you're going to be doing, twice a month, or whatever, or once a week. You could schedule calls, invite them to a community event. You could invite them, add them to your email list, send out a free resource, but you're moving people intentionally closer to a conversation. Like we're too quick to try to put distance between us and people, too quick to try to digitize this part of the conversation. I want you to actually reach out to actual humans, right? Following up with 3 to 5 people who reached out earlier, or you might have sent one. So 10 to 15 new kind of outreaches. Then 3 to 5 people who you reached out to before, but they hadn't responded yet. You want to follow back up one good time and update your CRM. Who responded? Who's booking a call? Who needs another follow up? All of that. Just update your hot list. It should take you 30, 45 minutes, but this is how you keep your pipeline full. And if you use videos when you send a follow-up email or voice memos, different things like that, find ways to stand out, make it easy for people. Sending something, a voice memo in a text message, or sending a quick video as a text message. It feels more personal. Sometimes it can convert better than just simple text. Okay. So number 1, we're practicing our pitch every day. Number 2, we are picking our afro. That means really going through that problem language and identifying ways that we're connected with people, picking current things to talk about, and knowing the flow of all of our sales calls before we get there. Right? Number 3, we are activating our inner circle, making sure that we know who we're going to be talking to every day, because we want to talk to actual humans every day and invite them into our world. And then number 4, we're going to broadcast our brilliance every day. Dare I say every day. Now you can schedule this part, but this is where we take what we're learning from these in real life conversations and broadcasting it to your audience. This part is going to help you get from going one-to-one and start going one to many, because this is a whole new skill that you have to develop, but it's built on the foundation of real conversations and real interactions that you've had with real humans. So you don't just wake up one day and say, okay, I've been in the tech world for a long time. I'm a successful tech founder. I'm going to start a tech accelerator for startup founders like me who I wish I had known, the things I wish I had known when I started my company. So I'm going to get on LinkedIn starting Monday and just post. That's a way to go about it, but that's guessing versus I'm going to get out here and I'm going to set an objective to network and until I get connected to at least 50 star founders, amazing, brilliant, you got next, but super early stage founders. And I'm going to invite them to get on and do digital coffee with me. And I'm going to go through the Afro method. I'm going to learn all their stuff and all their language and what they got going on and what they struggle with. I'm going to offer my free advice. I'm going to be, just like I do office hours for Harvard, I'm going to do this. If you got a startup and you never raised any money, you're pre-seed or whatever, get on. I should do this. Get on a call with me. Better Call Doc for the tech founder edition. Okay. And then after I do all these calls, like let's say I do that for a month or so till I hit 50 or 75 or 100 calls. Now Or as I'm doing that, right? Every week I've got stories. Oh my gosh. Here's a problem that most startup founders have because it came from a real conversation. And that's what I put on my LinkedIn. I'm going to have a totally different response versus something I just made up, in isolation. So the more you can make your content that you're posting, that you digitize, come from a real place, this is energy. People can feel the energetic signature of what you post. So the more it's based on a real life experience, a real emotion that somebody had, a real story that happened to you or one of your clients, the more it's going to have impact. So we're not just creating content just to make it. We're not just, hey, AI, can you make me 10 posts for this topic? Go. And then just cut and paste and boom, I'm done. No, we want to create content that digitizes the energetic patterns that we're actually seeing from real conversations with humans. So it actually works to your advantage to be organized enough to be this intentional. Because if you show up in this with this level of intentionality, you're going to get better results than somebody else who just kind of just throwing it out there because, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing it. We're not doing it to do it. We're doing it to be excellent, to be great, to be world class. I want you to understand that 92% of businesses never make six figures. We ain't got time to be in that part. We don't want to be on that side. We want to be over here making 150, 250, $400,000 a year in the business. So now we can think about other things. That's what I need for y'all. And of course, when you get beyond that, because I know how to teach advanced stuff, but I'm not doing that. I want y'all to get past the 0 to 10K, 10K to 10, 50K. That's what I want. I want that. I want you asking me questions about, I'm hiring my first person and I don't know what I'm doing. Because I'll be like, listen, let me tell you all the stuff I learned from hiring the wrong people. Let's talk about that. I want us to all be there. So anyway, when you're posting, when you're digitizing your brilliance, you're making sure that you're pulling from real conversations. And remember, we talked about this in a previous day of the 100-day challenge. What do I post? You know what to post? You can't say that anymore. If you can't figure out what to post, here's an outline to start with, and then tailor it to what works for you. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. All right. So we want to, on Monday, you can say, here's my 3-step process for solving da-da-da-da, but it's still story time. I worked with a client. I learned that this, da-da-da-da. Based on what I talked to them about, this is what I learned, and here's the process to solve this. Tuesday, problem post. The biggest mistake people make is this. Talk about it. Wednesday, story post. Such and such, so I was working with them. They got this outcome. Here's how they did it. Thursday, contrarian take. Everybody thinks this, but actually that's wrong. Here's the real deal. Friday, invitation post. See that 80% is value. Then Friday, you can say, by the way, I'm doing this thing. Here's an offer. Come on in. And then take the weekend off. If you just want to take the weekend off, I'm saying post every day. You do what you want to do. This, you can't tell me that you can't do this. And where do I get the topics from, dog? What do? It's better and more impactful if it's coming from your real conversations with real humans, okay? So this is hitting all the psychological triggers of authority, relatability, proof, connectivity, intrigue, and then they will be primed and ready for you to offer them an opportunity to work with you, okay? So content comes from conversations. You can schedule it and do it once a week. Have it already pre-scheduled for the week, or you could post every day. It's fine. Either way. If you had a conversation yesterday and somebody was like, I tried everything, nothing works, turn that into a post. I talked to somebody yesterday who said they tried everything. Here's why that's the problem. Let me tell you, and then break it down. If you had a conversation where you explained your framework and the people, they had a brain blast, they said, nobody ever explained that any to me before. Then you go into that. My 3-step process just changed somebody's life. Let me break it down for you. So we're not in a vacuum. We do this every day. Okay, so practice our 5-star pitch. Pick your afro. Activate your inner circle. Broadcast your brilliance every day. And then number 5, document all this activity. We use some version of a CRM. You can get a more sophisticated system later, but somewhere you need to be tracking What's going on? This is where most people skip, because you get out here, you talk to all these humans. Oh my God, I had these great conversations, blah, 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 but you're not tracking it. You cannot improve what you don't track. And you can't scale what you don't document. So what conversations did you have? Who did you talk to? What did they say about the problem? What language did they use? What objections came up? Did they buy anything? Are they moving closer to a sale? If not, why not? What patterns are you noticing? What objections are coming up repeatedly? Certain phrases in your pitch that are resonating more than others. Are specific types of people converting better than others? We're looking for patterns. What worked today? What didn't work today? Particular outreach message. If things work, you pay attention. It's not like, oh, I did that, woo, and then you forget what you did, because we do that all the time. You're just moving by spirit. I don't know what I did. Well, you should know. Let's find a way to know. If we have, voice memos, audio recordings that we did from all of these calls that we did, take that, pull the transcript down, and then have a time on your schedule the next morning where you go back and review that and add it to your CRM. So knowing what works, what outreach message, what piece of content is doing better than another one, transitions that make your conversations go smoothly and all of that, make that a part of your repertoire. And then find one thing that you can adjust when you do that weekly review. So tomorrow we're going to actually plan our whole week together. That's part of what we're going to do. So you can see how all of this builds into something that you can do every day, like an actual schedule, right? So when we activate or practice our pitch, that's how we get the clarity, the confidence. Clarity leads to connection. Connection is the birthplace of all currency, okay? When we pick our afro, being very intentional, preparing, right? Listening for problem language, looking for connectivity in current conversations, and practicing our flow before we get into meetings and stuff like that. That's how we get readiness and awareness. By activating our inner circle, we're talking to real humans and creating opportunities to generate conversations and relationships. When we broadcast our brilliance, we're activating this visibility and this trust and the network effects in our business. And then by documenting our actions, we generate these patterns, and we're reviewing the game film so we can get some insights that makes us better. That's how we spiral up. So it's important to think about it this way and to show up this way, because if you think about the whole point of business, the whole point of any of this is to have a system that's working without you. So if we're intentional about each part of this engine that we're building, making sure that it's running, that it's functioning, making sure that we understand what are the conditions in which each part of the engine keeps functioning, right? Like if your car runs hot, it's going to affect the engine and the other parts of the thing. If you run out of, coolant or whatever in the thing. So these are not disconnected things. It's an interconnected system. So if we tend to each part of the system every day, we have exponentially increased our chances, our likelihood that we're going to be successful. Okay, these aren't random activities. They are specific things that are building the systems that we need to get the outcomes that we're looking for in our business. So this is designed to work together, to be configured together, not in isolation, working together. And you can actually plan, predict how much money you're going to make in your business. So look, if I practice my pitch in the morning, I'll be ready later in the day when conversations come up. If I pick my afro, meaning listen, prime my ears for problem language, identify things that are connecting me to people, look for current events that I could talk about that are relevant. What are people talking about? Okay, let me make sure I know something about what's going on. And then knowing your flow of your conversation and kind of rehearsing that in your mind, that is going to allow you to now activate your inner circle. You're showing up prepared. And when you get in there and have those real conversations, now you got something to broadcast when you do your content strategy. And that helps your inner circle to grow. Now new people are reaching you. Now the next day, the next week, that's going to be easier to do. And we document that. So when we come on Saturday with our favorite meal before we watch the football game, when we spend 2 hours on a Saturday working on our business, I'm about to get off. So y'all still have the rest of this time before you got your fun things that you want to do tonight. And you can go back and review. And that lets you refine your pitch, get your outreach together, get your content based on what's actually working and not just like your random idea or just something you just whatever the latest thing is that you read in your email. This makes you a much better, more skilled, dare I say, richer entrepreneur, because all financial capital is social capital. If you spend this much time and attention with your social inputs, you're going to see the results in your financial outputs. Okay. Every single day. Y'all remember Michael Phelps? Remember the bicycling team? Every single day, we do these things until it becomes second nature. It's going to compound. So at the beginning, it's going to feel weird. You might get crickets when you're posting content. People aren't responding, even though you're reaching out. You don't see no patterns. You feel like nothing's happening. But as you go, your pitch starts to flow. You start to book a couple calls. You might close a couple of sales conversations. You notice that a couple of phrases are resonating more than others. You might be uncertain, but you get a little momentum. Now it's really flowing. You're feeling natural. Now you're typically booking 5 to 7 calls a week. You start to feel confident. You know what to say. When somebody has an objection, you know what to do. Your content is starting to pick up online, like it's working to the point where it gets automatic. People respond positively. You have a community. Revenue starts flowing. People commenting, engaging, sharing, asking you questions. Like, you're getting inbound interest. My entire company was built inbound. We've not sent one outbound email yet to this day. It's all inbound. So I know that it works. You realize that something has shifted. When you get to the day when you wake up and you're like, whoa, my business has shifted. My phone is ringing differently. That's critical mass. That's when the chain reaction happens. Now the rocket is taking off. Things are happening because you show up every single day. So that's your 5 a day. Get 5 on it every freaking day. Every day. Every day. So I'm gonna give y'all a checklist or something that's easy to like fill out. I'm gonna update that workbook actually that I shared with you guys. But you want to practice 5-star pitch, you do that for 5-10 minutes. One for your networking version and one for your sales call version. You're gonna pick your afro. That takes 15 to 20 minutes. Thinking about problem language. What problem do you actually solve? How do they talk about the problem? All right. Identifying connection points, things that you have in common with these folks that you're going to be talking to, choosing current topics that you could talk about, and knowing your flow of your sales conversations. Should take 15, 20 minutes. Then number 3, every day, activate your inner circle. Identify your hot targets for the day. Reach out to at least 10 to 15 new people if you really want to go fast. But okay, 5 to 10 if you just want to be moderate or maybe you still have a job or whatever. Following up with 3 to 5 people that, you know, maybe you didn't hear from them. Let's make sure I get a follow-up in and update your CRM. Number 4, broadcast your own brilliance every day. You should be posting at least Monday through Friday. If you schedule it over the weekend, you have one less thing to do during the day. But during the day, you should be engaging. When people post a comment, you need to be in there. The algorithm actually notices that and respond to your DMs. You can do that in about what? It depends on if you got to create the content that day or if you're just responding. But anyway, 30 minutes, what? I don't know. 45 minutes. And then document your activities, your actions, maybe at the end of the day before you sit down for dinner or whatever. What conversations happened? What patterns emerged? What's working? What am I adjusting tomorrow? So less than 2 hours, 90 minutes to 120 minutes every day. You did your 5. You got 5 on it. You know what I'm saying? This is your daily operating system. So pick a time of day that you're going to do it. The morning is obviously better for obvious reasons, but you could practice at any time. You could do it at nighttime and then you'd be ready when you get up the next day. If you got a meeting, you know what I'm saying? Like, but just every day. You could schedule an email, you know what I'm saying? You could schedule your social media posts to go out. You know, if it's like, oh, I'm going out of town, or I got to be at a conference, you know, I can't do. Schedule it so that it's still putting an input in the energetic field every day. Every day. Say it with me. Every day. Practice your pitch. Nobody can do that for you but you. Going in there and really getting comfortable with your Afro method and all the different elements of how you're going to engage people every day. Who am I going to reach out to and talk to every day this week? It should be 5 to 10 new people hearing boop, boop, intentionally from you. Bloop, bloop, hey, bloop, bloop. And you could do that on text. You could do that in person. You could do that, you know, at an event. You could do that via email. You could do that with a phone call. You can do that however you do it, but like an actual connection, outreach to a human and then your content posting and documenting what's going on. It's non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So any questions? Y'all got to make a commitment. I'm doing 5 days every single day, at least only weekdays, right? For the next what? I'm doing it for the rest of the 100-day challenge, but do not skip days. Do not make excuses. Treat it like a job because it is your job. You're trying to replace your job. You're trying to replace your W-2. Did you have to go to work every day? You got to do this every day. This is every day. So that's how we avoid the, oh, I'm taking a day off. I'm taking a week off. Oh, I'll get back to it next week. Because we're doing that out of frustration and overwhelm. We don't know what to do, so we don't do anything. And then we're just floating around. And then 2 weeks go by and we're not making no money. Like every day. Because if you show up consistently, reaching critical mass is inevitable. That's it. That's all I got for you. Questions, comments, concerns, feedback, challenges. If not, y'all, tomorrow is day 18. We're going to plan our week together. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So make sure I didn't miss no comments. All right. That's it, y'all. Till the next one. I got to go. We're going to make money. We're making money. Y'all know we're going to make some money next week.